What's up, family? So, you're not going to believe this. Actually, scratch that. You probably will believe it because this is just the kind of insanity we come to expect from our so-called leaders, right? And today we're diving into a story that's not just wild, it's a complete expose of the double standards that are rooting the core of our institutions. New York Attorney General Letitia James, yes, the same one who built her brand off of accountability and integrity, the same one who came after Trump like a dog with a bone, is now under federal criminal referral for mortgage fraud. And right in the heat of it, she's not stepping back, not explaining herself, not taking responsibility. Nah, she's throwing a luxury tier fundraiser $18,000 ahead. Let that sink in for a minute. So, however, this is the story, the breaking story on the New York Post that actually came out. And as Letitia James launched fundraiser seeking donations up to 18,000 per person in wake of alleged mortgage fraud, fighting for our rights. She claims. In New York Attorney General Letitia James is hitting up supporters for big bucks just days after the Trump administration accused her of alleged fraud involving several homes she owns. The money bid, the money bid is in form of an invitation to an event on Tuesday from 5:30 to 7 p.m., calling for contributions starting at $500 and climbing to an eye-open $18,000 family maximum allowed by New York law in support of her 2026 re-election bid. The invite features a photo of James framed by a circular um, pride flag. The high dollar fundraiser will be hosted at the home of the left wing activists Rod Grozer and Rob Smith, the latter of whom is the CEO and founder of the Floyd Project, a gender neutral clothing company. Letitia James is fighting for our rights every single day. This is our opportunity to show Letitia that we have her back. The event page on Lefty fundraising website Act Blue reads. The New York Attorney General this week became the subject of a federal criminal referral over allegations she falsely claimed in office. Well, she falsely claimed in official public documents in August 2023 that her principal residence was a home in Norfolk, Virginia. James, who also has a home in Brooklyn, bought the Virginia property with her niece that year when she was already in office as Attorney General of New York. New York requires its Attorney Generals to live in the state for at least 5 years before elected and also while in office. A document involving power of attorney for the Virginia purchase and viewed by the Post was signed by James in August of that year, complete with the declaration, I intend to occupy this property as my principal residence, closing quote. And this is the Post spoke to several of James' alleged Virginia neighbors Wednesday, none of whom reported ever seeing her at the property. Pacific Power of Attorney, known all know all men by these, presents that the under the sign Letitia A. James, does hereby constitute and appoint Shamise Thompson Harrison of the city of Norfolk, state of Virginia, as her attorney in fact for her as in her attorney in fact for her in her name, place instead to undertake and to do all acts necessary to complete the purchase of the property known as blank 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 Norfolk, Virginia, and there's the zip code. One, execution of the deed of trust in a loan amount not to exceed $225,000. Number two, execution of real estate settlement procedures act forms. Number three, execution of note, miscellaneous loan closing documents in a loan amount not to exceed 225,000. And number four, execution of purchase agreements and addendums with a sales price not to exceed $250,000. I hereby declare that I intend to occupy this property as my principal residence, as you guys see circle in red. I hereby declare that any act or thing done hereunder by my said attorney, in fact, shall be binding on myself, my hairs, my legal and personal perspectives, and assigns only insofar as they are consistent with the powers granted herein. I hereby ratify all that my said attorney in fact shall lawfully do or cause to be done by virtue of these powers. This power of attorney shall not be affected by the subsequent disability or incompetence of said principal. This power of attorney can be revoked or terminated only by writing communicated to and receiving by my attorney, in fact, prior to my attorney, in fact, exercising such power. This power of attorney shall expire August 7th, 2024. The Federal Housing Finance Agency Director William Bolude detailed these and other allegations of James playing fast and loose with residency requirements in a letter to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. The criminal referral also accused James, whose salary is $220,000, of representing the number of apartments for a building she owns in Brooklyn, saying it has 4 units when City Department of Building records say it has 5. That's a key distinction between buildings with 4 or fewer units. Few. Wait, let me backtrack. That's a key distinction between buildings with 4 or fewer units qualify for mortgages with better terms. Blude said these issues could amount not to criminal charges, well, could amount. Sorry, family. Paludi said these issues could amount to criminal charges, including wire fraud, mail fraud, bank fraud, and false statements to a financial institution. In a previous statement, James' office has lashed out at the Trump administration for a weaponization of the federal government and provided some details about her ownership of the properties. But her spokesman did not specifically deny the allegations against her. Our camp did not immediately respond to posts, requests for comment on the fundraiser. That is mind blowing to me, folks. And I want to pull up Letitia because she didn't care to apologize or take accountability. She's actually not backing down, family, and that's not surprising because this hardy spirit, I should say, hardy spirit, hardened heart woman. Um, I don't expect her to. I actually expected this response. In regards of her response of saying that, you know, her running into the Winter Olympics and saying basically that she's being attacked or Trump is coming after her, and this is basically a recovery. What she called it? Uh, she called it I forgot what tour she called it of Trump's response to Trump. All right, let me get it. I'm trying to pull it up, family. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Letitia James response to Trump on mortgage fraud. She actually blows my mind with this, man. Uh, refresh. Actually, let me pull it up here on YouTube right here. Letitia James. Give me a second, family. Where is she at? Mm. I can't seem to find it. I know she said no one is above the law. Hmm. We can't find it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's see if I can find it on X real quick, family. This is in real time. Letitia James response. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, family. Check it out.
Good to see you, Ms. James. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Errol.
Absolutely. What is going on here? Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate transactions?
No, not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless. The allegations.
Actually, family, I'm gonna actually pull it up so it's more clear because it's on Spectrum News. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Inside City Hall for Thursday, April 17th, 20. Welcome to Inside City Hall for Thursday, April.
Interest is accruing each and
Together and make. See you, Ms. James. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Errol.
Absolutely. What is going on here? Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate transactions?
No, not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless. The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour. And as you mentioned, my office was successful in securing a $454 million judgment against Donald Trump and others for exaggerating the value of his assets. He engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And the interest is accruing each and every day while the case is on appeal in the First Department. It's important that individuals know that this is nothing more than the continuation of the tour. He went after law firms, universities, immigrants, women. Thousands of federal employees right now are unemployed. Our government is in chaos and in disarray. Medicaid, Social Security, CFPB, and the list goes on and on and on. And as you know, as you mentioned, each and every day, my office is leading the fight against these executive orders, which have no legal import at all, have no legal significance. And we are standing up for the rights and privileges of New Yorkers and Americans. I will not be silenced. I will not be bullied. I will not bend. I will not break. And I will not bow to anyone. No one is above the law, including the President of these United States.
Okay.
And the Office of the Attorney General will continue to stand up.
Let me follow up of some of what's in this this letter. It says according to media reports, which for us in the media is kind of a.
See that attitude, boy? How you got an attitude and you did wrong committing mortgage fraud? Ain't nobody tell you commit mortgage fraud, girl. You know what you was doing. She calls this Trump's recovery tour, family. I found out what she calls it, as in Trump getting back at her and weaponizing the government, the federal government, towards his opponents.
Red flag, meaning that it seems to be based on some social media posts that I know were made by partisan political actors. But just let me ask you about some of the specifics in the letter. They're saying that your house in Brooklyn is a legal 5-family and the mortgage on it is for a 4-family house. Is that true?
So let me just say that, Errol, you know, as any good attorney, I will not litigate this case in a camera. It's important that we will respond to these allegations at the appropriate time and in an appropriate way. But I will not go back and forth with respect to these baseless allegations. I am more focused again on standing up for the freedoms, the liberties, and for the rule of law in the state of New York.
I was under the impression by all of this that what they were really looking for is what they got, which is a headline saying, Tish James is under a criminal investigation. Is that pretty much what's going on here?
Yeah, that's what they got. That's what they got. And it's unfortunate that you have some of these right wing conservative individuals who are camped out in front of my home and in front of the homes of my relatives in Virginia, harassing them each and every day. And it's unfortunate, knocking on the doors of my neighbors and the neighbors of my relatives in the state of Virginia. And it is nothing more than a headline, nothing more than, again, retaliation against all of the actions that I have taken successfully against Donald Trump.
Okay. Well, yeah, as you know, members of the New York press corps are not shy about this stuff. And believe me, we'd be there in the hunt if there was anything to hang on to. I didn't find very much. That's partly why I was asking you about it. Let me move on, though, and ask you about some.
And this reporter, he's a trash reporter because he already has preconceived in his mind to defend her instead of getting the information and just asking the questions. But man, look, she didn't take accountability. And ask yourself though, you gotta ask yourself because obviously she's throwing a luxury tier fundraiser, 18,000 a head, $18,000 a head or a person, and letting that sink in. Ask yourself, if you were under investigation for fraud, could you host an event asking people to cut you five-figure checks, or would you be fighting just to keep your job? This episode is not just about her shady moves. It's about what this really means for justice, for due process, and for trust in our system. And we're going to talk about the mortgage lies, the Virginia residency, the loophole, the bizarre married to the father paperwork, and her defense to all of this retaliation, as she liked to call it, Trump's retaliation tour. Um, is mind blowing to me. And but the twist is, what if everything she did to Trump ends up being what gets her caught? What if the appeal on his case uses her own alleged fraud as evidence that prosecution was politically motivated? And if you're tired of the rules for thee but not for me crowd, stick around because we're gonna break this down line by line. And because long story short, if we don't hold power accountable, who will? So, look, man, drop a comment below. I mean, this is just as I go through this and I hear her talking and not really taking accountability, and we broke this down. And look, at the end of the day, family, you can't sit here, and this is going to be my breakdown for it. You can't sit here and say this is a baseless headline like the Trump administration was supposed to inform you about going after you and commit and doing an investigation to take process when you are the one that already knowingly committed fraud. So reading these things line by line, what you see on this paperwork as specific power of attorney, I hereby declare that I attend this property as principal residence. I hereby ratify that all state attorney. My thing is, why would they come and notify you, hey, we're coming after you. We're going to investigate because we see that you have a residence that you are living in Virginia, but you work in New York. You knew what you signed when you signed them papers. So line by line, the paperwork speaks for itself. She knew what she was doing. And at the end of the day, she can run into the Victim Olympics all she want. But look, take your L, take your responsibility, take it on the chin. Hold yourself accountable. Is already ignorant enough that you ain't even see, you ain't even try to apologize or try to explain. You just said it's basically headlines, and these are just extreme right wing conservative individuals. So you standing on it, all right? But the paperwork says otherwise. But real quick, family, um, do you think Letitia James should just step down if these allegations are proven true? Or are we just watching the same political circus play out again? And I want to hear from you because I really think she should. It's fraud, and at the end of the day, it's jail time that will be served. It'll be more than just stepping down. I think it would be automatic grounds of termination. from employment because you have lied for X amount of years, saying you have a residence in Brooklyn that you're staying at, but you're really not. And hey, if you're new, smash that like button for the algorithm, and make sure you subscribe with the notifications turned on. I don't play favorites. I just follow the truth wherever it leads. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let the love supersede the hate. Spread that peace, love, and positivity. Until next time, family. Peace.